Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are out by Jupiter today, revisiting our Jupiter orbiter mission, the JOSM-B1. And we're just a little bit off of our apoapsis here at Jupiter, now 5 years and 56 days into its mission. But we have just a 1.1 meter per second correction burn, or not really a correction, but we're just going to alter this course just a little bit in about 20 seconds or so, because I spent a lot of time out here tinkering with nodes. I wonder if I have time to show you this real quick before the node time approaches 15 seconds. But yeah, just this little itty-bitty correction, and it should get us a intercept with Io, which is really cool. We're finally going to fly by one of Jupiter's moons. Here's hoping anyway. I'll probably have to readjust because I had to rotate the spacecraft to get this orientation and did that a bit soon. It cost us, I think initially this burn was like 1.3 meters per second, and of course I've talked too much and gone right past the node. Alright, well, let's see what that bought us. Actually, let me lock the fuel first just so I make sure that I don't spend any more of it than I need to. Oh, yeah, look at that. We've got somewhat of an intercept. Alright, let's just see if it'll let me focus in on Jupiter. No, do not warp there. Yes, I would like Jupiter to be my focus. And yes, that is an Io encounter, sort of. Let me see if I can hit time warp when it's acknowledging that this encounter exists. Actually, let's focus in here and see how close we are, if at all. Oh wow, that's a very close flyby. I'm assuming we're going to get that no matter what. But the small gravity assist we're going to get there is going to fling us right out of the system. So obviously we'll have to make another adjustment. I would like to make an adjustment to make sure that this encounter stays stable instead of blinking in and out of existence like this. So we'll just do add maneuver. And I apologize if anybody is having some epileptic events here because of this. Okay, that brings us in just a touch closer. And, well, it'd be nice to correct on the plane. Nope. Nope, okay. 0.01 meters per second in 2 days. I wonder if I can not mess that up, but we got the 2 days to spare, so let's just go ahead and warp on out to it. Let's not screw this up, shall we? Oh, why are we dropping out of time warp? What's happening? Okay, thanks for whatever warning that was about. Yep, there's and we are in a very far-flung orbit. I'm hoping that I can use some of this pass to slow down a little bit, although that means I should probably come in on the opposite side of Io. Io is really small, really hard to hit, which is one of the reasons why I'm really excited about this encounter, because it is kind of chance random, and also hard to do. Yeah, if you're intending to do it, that is. I kind of stumbled on this one on accident while trying to get encounters elsewhere. But I'll take what I can get. This is definitely some good science that we can mine for. And a really cool encounter just in general. But I don't think the gravitational influence is going to do us a whole lot of good. But we should certainly try to come in on the opposite side and see if we can't use it to slow our orbit down a bit. Alright, 5 seconds out. Let's... Alright. Stabilize the load. Unlock the fuel. Dang it, I've already screwed this up. Yeah, we're already 2 seconds past. And I refuse to... Yeah. I was going to say, I refuse to spend more fuel rotating. That's why I have SAS off, but... We've already flung past it. Which has already caused the node to shift entirely. Let's go that way. Oh man, this is going to be terrible. This is the worst game of Chase the Node ever. And now 40 seconds past our maneuver point. I've done a very good job of this, haven't I? And we are 1 year, 6 hours from our apoapsis. I wonder how long from this encounter we are. I should have checked that. Well, every time I make an adjustment to go closer to the node moves someplace else. So I think I'm just going to try to swing past it while making this burn. Yes. Come on, little guy. That may have been a touch too much. Bump. Wow. Alright. Oh, we're just gonna let it spin free. Kill that stuff. And let's see if it... Oh, hey, look at that. That is certainly an encounter of some kind. That is a collision course. I wonder... Our escape is in 182 days. Yeah, it's still... We're on a collision course. Doesn't count. Barely counts. Yeah, our encounter is in 182 days, 8 hours, 12 minutes. Our escape is basically 12 minutes after that. So we'll spend 12 minutes flying through Io's sphere of influence, which will almost certainly throw... Well, it's going to throw off our course by a lot. So we're going to have to make an adjustment before we get to Io. Hopefully when we're a little bit closer so we can be a little bit more accurate about it. We'll set it out here somewhere. Add maneuver. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to toy with nodes a little bit and see if I can't get an orbit that's not shooting down this way, but is actually a little closer to the plane of the planets here. That hopefully also doesn't eject me. What is that doing? And that's 80 meters per second. That negates the encounter, doesn't it? Alright, sorry, I'm talking through stuff I promised that I would fast forward through. Wonder how this is going to work. Oh, that kept the node. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to have to do this off camera because this is just going to be quite ridiculous the whole time through, it would seem. Yeah, we're going to have to make that adjustment long before we get there. But we will worry about that, and I'll just set a random node here-ish without anything to it so we can get a Kerbal alarm clock update, because we've got many other things coming, like a Jupiter window, before we get around to being able to make this final adjustment. But this is going to be super exciting. But we've got a few other things to attend to this episode, so I'll pick you guys back up in just a second. Alright, we're back, and we are joining the crew of our first space station, kind of lovingly named Toshi Station. We keep all the power converters. Anyway. Oop, wrong button. Okay, but it led to the right thing. Anyway, it is time to go ahead and bring our crew module home. They have completed their experiments and their tour in orbit. We are going to leave the space station up here in hopes of recrewing it later on. This, however, is a deeply flawed design and seriously needs an overhaul before we try to use it again. But I guess first things first, well, we're over as tropics, we already got that one. We're going to transfer the science load from our space station into our crew module. Science. Yeah, from the command module, there we go. Transfer, we got a couple of biomes on that thing, so we're pretty satisfied with that. We just need to get Nina from the space station module into the command pod, which, yes, this was the correct orientation for you to do that. That was obviously the right thing to do. I mean, you know, just letting go of the door wouldn't have been good enough. All this reorientation was absolutely necessary for everything, obviously. Alright. F, grab. Oh, hold on. Please don't go flying off into the abyss. and board. Excellent. All right, I guess before we go, we should enable some of the comms equipment here, just to make sure everything goes well. Activate. Thank you. And we can actually turn off the CO2 scrubbers. No crew on part. Oh, okay, well, that shouldn't matter. We should have remote control for that. Thank you. And we'll leave the radiators on because they are necessary for stuff. Alright, and before we detach, I just want to go back over these parachutes because I remember now that I did not adjust any of their settings. They're still at the factory 30 kilometer, which is certainly not going to work. We would like them to deploy much, much lower than that. Yeah, we'll say 3,500. Copy to other chutes, please. Thank you. And that's that. Alright, we can start getting them undocked and backed away. Just make sure that there's I hope all 3 crew are in there. If not, we'll come. We'll redock and pick them up later. Alright, we are undocked and no crew is showing up here, so we will switch over to our command pod. Excellent. RCS is on. We can back away just a bit and start to plot out our descent eventually. That took a lot longer to load than I would have liked. Alright, well, if we bring it down over dirt, it's no big deal. We can just say hi to the Chinese. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves oriented to retrograde, whichever direction that might be. It should be along this 2-7 vector. Just about. Good enough. Alright, is that engine ever activated? It was not. So, activate our engine. It seems kind of a waste to use this whole command pod to do just such a very small burn. But, I don't know. Rather be over-engineered than under. And, well, considering all the other shortcomings of this command pod, or the service module in general, I'm not that saddened. Alright. Oh, I can't even ullage the engine. No, it's stable. Let's just go. Alright. And goodbye, space station. It was really cool. Just hanging out and doing all the sciencey things, and now it's time to come home. I'm just going to bring that periapsis down to about 65-ish or so. Well, it's taken a lot more of a burn than I thought it would, but no big deal. We've got, I mean, something. I don't know how much delta V we had. Oh, we still have 1,400 meters per second in there. Yeah, we could have done a whole lot more. 64, not bad. I'd say that's not bad. All right, let's arm shoot. Arm shoot. Very good. And let's just hope we don't skip out of the atmosphere again. But if we do, I'm going to transfer some of these life support things over to the command pod, just, you know, because. Why not? So that requires opening up all 4 of these little windows. I should really stop doing these nifty lateral tank thingies because this is kind of annoying. And yes, we've picked up that persistent rotation that we can't correct because apparently I forgot to add the proper fuels for these thrusters. How embarrassing. In. Man, there's so much life support on this thing. Alright. That should be well more than enough. We're totally going to fly over China, aren't we? I mean, like, way past it and land. Yeah, there's our periapsis. So it looks like we're going to come down somewhere in the Pacific. Hopefully during the day, just because it looks better. But I guess we'll know when we get there. So let's go ahead and time warp through this. Oh boy. Yeah, we're going to have to reorient a lot. And then decouple this stage. before it burns up and explodes. So, and... Now, come on, ditch it. Thank you. Oh, no. It is grinding against the heat shield. The ejection force on that certainly needs to be amended. This is interesting. Alright, let's see if we can't get below it quickly as we can. Goodbye, good sir. Now, I'm certain that you will not be colliding into us and causing any very serious problems. Although, really with that window there, if it were aligned properly, it would give the astronauts here a great view if they had any roll control whatsoever. Alright. So just make sure our... Okay, we've got 400 ablator. It says it's rated for... It says it's rated for low Earth orbit reentry. So we're just going to have to find out. Fingers crossed. This is a completely Why are there only 2 people here? Where's Nina? Like the one person that actually got in, we know we have, right? What's crew? Yeah, 3 of 3. Yeah. Nina, Yegor, and John. Everybody's here. That was a very uncomfortable moment of panic. I just leave a Kerbal stranded on a space station. I've done it before. It will probably happen again. I just didn't want it to be this time. Okay, well, yeah, we have no roll control, so I can't adjust that angle. So I'm probably not going to be turning on descent mode because I can't rotate, so I can't know for certain that I'm oriented correctly with descent mode. But I don't know if these lateral parachutes are going to try to burn off. I don't know if this heat shield is going to survive. I don't know if not having as precise a control as I want is going to make this thing terrible. So obviously I'm making the smart decision by time warping through the dangerous part and just inviting the Kraken to my doorstep. Come on. Let's just stay on that retrograde vector, shall we? That'd be really nice. Can we still see our service module? Yep, there it is. Okay. We could watch and see if that thing blows up, but that's okay. That's a little better. Now we got the sun flare out of the way. That thing should provide a very nice light show shortly. I hope. Maybe, maybe not. So we're still at 102 kilometers. We got another probably 4 kilometers to fall before that thing really starts lighting up, but it really should make some interesting sounds. Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe it's around... Well, say everything else usually explodes around this time. Getting any heating on our ablator? Not quite yet. I think it is rocking back and forth a bit. Oh, sun flare. That's why we had the camera there. Derp derp. Well, our apoapsis has fallen a bit. We're down to 393 kilometers. Apogee, whichever term you prefer. Come on, man. I'm just here for the light show. Let's get going. Yeah, there's Jupiter. We'll be sending more flights there very soon. Okay, now we're starting to get some heating here. Ablator has not yet started ablating. But as long as we don't see a bunch of heat warnings pop up, I'll be happy. .92 kilometers current altitude. Oh, there it goes. And the camera wobble of doom. Yes. Glad that's not us. Oh, wow. Most of it is still there. I think that was just the solar panels going up. Fun times. Yeah. Camera wobble is super distracting and kind of terrifying, especially when it's not anything on your ship that's exploding. Now it's scattered debris into the wind, which will obviously cause more camera shake. Yes. Please drift far enough away to not cause my camera to shake. I'm pretty sure you can turn that off through settings. Which, oh yeah, it's totally getting turned off. This is... Or I should just ditch my service modules sooner, huh? Alright, well, it's telling us that we have deorbited now. Which is good. I should probably go back to correcting this inclination. 83 kilometers altitude, speed at 7.4 kilometers per second. Yep, more explosions. I think we're down to our last 2 bits of debris. 1. Come on, your turn. Go and get. Alright, well, whatever. Okay, well, let's tempt the Kraken with a little more time warp so we can get these guys on the ground. I know Yegor is really sick of these long-haul missions after his year in orbit of the moon. So probably certainly not happy to spend 90 days in orbit of... Well, I guess it was more like 50 days or so. So they went up before we did the correction for the Venus Return project at Mars. And that was still about 45, 46 days away from its maneuver. Alright, now we're getting some heating effects. And some good deceleration. Just a bit. Alright. Ablator is starting to ablate, thankfully. Please nothing break. If we kill 3 astronauts in one fell swoop, I'm going to be so upset with myself for flying an untested crew module. It's a really interesting effect off that little divot in the center. I don't quite know what's going on with that, but you know, whatever works. Alright, we've got a nice plasma trail going. Yeah, that is awesome. Alright. Still quite a comfortable 2.5 Gs, 6.4 kilometers per second. That is awesome. It's been a while since we've had a reentry that showed good chances of being successful. Eight Gs. 8.5. Oh, that's got to be getting rough. 9 Gs. I hope these 3 are worth their salt. That looks like where it peaks out. It's right around 9 Gs. Down in the 2.2 kilometer per second range now. Whew. As long as these chutes carry the weight, they'll be coming home just fine. Okay, well, I thought I hit copy to other chutes. So what's this guy doing? Okay. Oh, did I not arm it? Deploy. There we go. Whew. That would have helped, huh? Well, it'll balance out. Okay. A comfortable, quote-unquote, 7.2 meters per second looks to be our splashdown speed. Instead of a near neck-breaking 15. But Looks like these three are going to have a successful flight. We'll wait until they hit the water just to make sure. Yes. They're flying. And splash down again. Nice. They have made it, and our first space station mission was entirely successful. And we can... Just the one? Where's my space station successful contract? Oh, KSP, if you do this to me again, I'm going to be so upset. Oh, come on. I did all of these things. God damn it. That's nice. That's a whole lot of money that's just being left on the table because contract some things. All of those boxes were checked except for lander splash down. Now that we've landed or splashed down, they are no longer checked. So I guess we're going back to the space station, but certainly with a redesigned command pod. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. Till then, see you later.